Today we're going to break down the 1975 production techniques and use these techniques to make an indie rock beat in FL Studio. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Due to popular demand, I am back with a new 1975 production video. But first, let's dive into some background about the 1975 and their style of music, since there are a few things that you've got to know. The 1975 is an English pop band consisting of 4 members, of which 2 members, George Daniel and Matthew Healy, primarily handle the production on their albums. The band first formed in 2002, but they didn't make their debut EP until August 2012. And since then, they've released 4 studio albums, 25 music videos, 5 EPs, and 29 singles. One thing that makes 1975 who they are is their wide range of music genres, ranging from pop rock to indie, synth pop, R&B, rock, garage, electronic, ambient, jazz, soul, and gospel. The list goes on and on. Even though they create songs in a bunch of different genres, I've noticed that all their songs have similar production techniques, which is what I'm going to break down in this video. I'm going to showcase how to make more of an indie rock style beat in this video, but I'm going to use their techniques that they use in all their songs. But I do have a playlist here on YouTube that I produce a couple other 1975 style songs, so if you guys want to see more videos or slightly different genres, you can check the link in the description to get to that playlist. Okay, so the first thing that I want to do when I start making these beats is I want to start with the drums. So within Contact Library, I'm going to get some live sounding drums because I don't play the drums myself. I'm going to look for Studio Drummer, this awesome one here. First thing I'm going to do here is actually set the tempo. Let's think. Gonna go around 100 to 105 beats per minute, and gonna create a pretty simple drum pattern, just something like this. And then we want to kind of, increase the vibe a bit and add some hat patterns. So let's add them like this. But then to give it more of a live, natural feel, I want to decrease the velocity of every other hat that sounds like this. And to create some variance, we will just add something different at the end of the second bar. So it sounds like this right now. So now we have that drum pattern in there. What we want to do next is come up with some chords. I really like using some analog synth sounds to kind of base the chord progressions, so I'm going to look for just an analog synth sound. And then I'm going to come up with a chord progression using major chords. And I know that Matt Healy actually said in an interview that he uses a lot of major chords, so that's why I'm going with this. It doesn't need to be anything too complex. I'm basically just doing a chord, 4 chords, 4 bars, 1 chord on every beat. And it sounds like this right now with the drums. Alright, now that we have that, I want to add a bass line. So I'm going to use, let's use this one here. I want a really good, just live sounding bass. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to follow the last note in the chords. And I can highlight them and I can press Alt-U and just make it like a strumming pattern. I noticed that in a lot of 1975 songs they have multiple guitars. One's usually like a strumming pattern and another is like a melody that's playing. So I'm going to start with a strumming pattern right now, and I'm just going to look for a clean guitar sound. Alright, this one should work. So I'm just going to copy these chords and add them here. And then let's highlight them and do Control or Alt S and make it like a strumming pattern. Guitar sounds sound good, but I want to make them sound a lot more ambient, so I'm going to add a ton of reverb onto them. And now I'm going to use, I'm going to come up with some sort of melody to play over top these chords. highlight these and press Alt-R, it basically randomizes it so we can make the notes sound a little bit different. It makes it sound a little bit more live sounding. Let's do the same thing with this guitar, add a bunch of reverb. It just sounds really nice to listen to. So what we want to do now that we have, this main chunk of the beat done already, we want to add some interesting elements, some ear candy. And I've done this technique in a number of my videos, but I'm going to use this plugin called Arcade. All right, let's just look for some, interesting things that we can add. I love this, this kind of preset library called Patterns. Alright, let's do this. It sounds really interesting. And you'll see how that one thing is going to just sound really interesting with the song. Alright, the last thing that I want to show you guys, a really awesome technique, is vocal chops. And I've noticed that this is actually a plugin I'm going to show you guys that the 1975, George and Maddie, they use this plugin in a lot of their songs. And if you're 1975, you might even recognize it, might even sound familiar. This plugin is called Exhale, and it's just got some awesome vocal chops that, again, just fuels to that ear candy type of vibe that we're going for. It's probably one of my favorite plugins ever. All right, let's record that. It sounded decent. So I think that's going to be it for this video, guys. Hopefully this video helps show you some of the techniques that I use when I'm making 1975 type beats, and also techniques that I've seen and I've heard the band members using whenever I listen to their albums. I love making beats like this. I can make a lot more videos like this if you guys want me to. So please hit that like button, that subscribe button, turn on the bell notifications. I will see you guys next week, or possibly sooner, with a new video. So talk to you guys then. Take care.